Hello guys, welcome again. In this video we will do to-do list manager. And so first let me run. Here we have like boxes and we can choose. For example, task 1, we can change the names of the tasks here. For example, you have 5 different tasks and you can change the name. And here we have a list. Tasks list and completed task is an empty list. Later we will fill that list. And we are creating checkboxes, but here we are not sure how many checkboxes we have. For example, if you add new tasks later, these lists will be larger. So it's better to create the widgets checkbox widgets in a loop here for task in tasks. Here we are using the list, and for each loop we are creating a new checkbox, and description will be task, and the task here in the first loop, the task will be task 1. In the second loop, the task will be task 2. In the third loop, and task will be task 3, and we are seeing here task 1, task 2, task 3. If I change task A, task B, task C, you will see the name changed. Okay, and we are defining a function here, mark completed, change task. Before looking at here, let's look at the observe function. Before we just have one button, and for that we are just using one line, checkbox observe and other button observe. And in the observe, you remember that first we are using function and then the value. What does it mean? That here checkbox, if the value change in that checkbox, the observe function run this function, right? But here the problem is we don't have just the one checkbox. We have, in this situation, we just have 3 checkboxes. Maybe later we will add new 2 tasks and we will have 5 different checkboxes. So we can't write them line by line. So we also need to check in a for loop. Here checkbox task in zip, we are using zip function, checkboxes, tasks. Here tasks is a list and checkboxes is a list also. We are creating these checkbox widgets in a list. So in that list we have 3 different checkboxes. Here we have 3 different tasks. And in this loop, for each loop, the first one is the checkbox for task A, and the task is task A string, this one. After that, for example, we just consider the first loop. In the first loop, checkbox is the first checkbox, task is task A, and here checkbox observe, checkbox is this one, the first one. Here we have a function. Later I will talk about the lambda. And the value. It means that if the value of the first checkbox change, for example, when I click here, I trigger the first loop, and what's going on here? We are using lambda. We are using lambda to do like temporary function. I prepared simple code here. I hope make you understand better how to use lambda. It's really useful. We are creating temporary functions. Create functions. For example, we have a variable add equals lambda x comma y can be different, and here column dot x plus y. It means that we are creating lambda. In lambda we have two different parameters, and this function sum these two parameters. For example, here result equals add 3 4. Here 3 is for x, for y, and what's happening here, we are sum those two numbers, and the result is 7. If I divide them, for example, and make this 8, it will give me 2, because x divided by y, 7 divided by 4 equals 2. Here, with just one line, I created a function, add function. And here, for example, square, I just have one parameter, x, and x square. So result square, actually here I just created square function, and square 5 gives me 25. If I change this number like 8, gives me square of that number. You can change, you can add many different parameters here, and you can do a function, many things by using those parameters. And you also can use a different function here. By using in that function, you can use these parameters. And here we are doing the same thing. Lambda, change, task, we have two parameters, column dot. After that, we have a function here. And change, we are using task. Here, this one task equals task. This task is here. So in the first loop, the task is task A. And after the column dot, we are using these two parameters inside these parameters. We don't do anything here, but we are just calling our completed function, and in that function, these parameters will be these parameters. Here we define which parameters we will use in this function. I hope you understand, guys, but don't worry. In the next projects, in the next videos, we will use this situation many times. So you will understand slowly. Okay, what's happening now? It will check all the time the 3 checkboxes. Whenever one of them value changed, they trigger the function again. And when I click here, the second one, they trigger the second checkbox and second task. And here it changed. Okay, let's look at the tab here. I completed change task, and if change new, it means that the change here, change new is true. It means that if I click that, completed tasks, here the empty list dot append task. We are just adding the task, like task 1. And if I click again, else, if it is false, when I click again, it will remove the same task, task A, from the completed task. I can do for all of them. It's simple projects to understand how to create many checkboxes in the like one line by using for loop, and how to control all of them in the for loop. And in the next video we will do more complex projects. And here, widgets, we are using vertical box and just we are seeing checkboxes. Okay guys, I hope you understand. If you have any question, please ask me. See you in the next video. Bye bye.